Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Titans Season 1, Episode 2, Hawk and Dove. So this is the introduction of Hawk and Dove. And it's shown in this episode that they used to be friends with Dick, but there was never no mention of them ever forming the Titans. That didn't get shown until Season 2. So there's a continuity issue. And so in this episode I like this episode. It's pretty cool. It introduces Hawk and Dove, with their costumes are amazing. The actor and actress are great in this role. They also introduced the Nuclear Family, which was my favorite villains of the entire Titan series. Like, the Nuclear Family was interesting. They felt like comic book characters come to life. They were ruthless and dangerous, but they had a quirkiness to them that was odd and strange. It made them so interesting and stuff. Now, Starfire does not appear in this episode. She's still in Austria, and she's trying to find her way back to America because she's trying to find Rachel, because somehow Rachel, she thinks, holds the key to her memories. And when I say she gets from Austria to America, she gets there in lightning speed. Don't know how, but she does. Like, she's literally in the third episode, and she's been there for like 2 days and stuff. She's been there since the events of this episode. She was watching what happens at the end. So in this episode, it's interesting because we do get a flashback of how Dick knows Hawk and Dove. He used to hang with them back in the day. So if he left Bruce a year ago, there's no telling when exactly he used to hang out with them. But he was more nicer back then. See, in the flashback, it's shown that Hawk and Dove were trying to like take down somebody, but they end up getting captured. And as they're about to be tortured, Robin busts in and saves them and stuff. And so, like, they're just having a great time. They're like fighting. I don't know if they. Yeah, I think it is. So yeah, they're just fighting, and it's a really cool action scene. That's all. That's something I always loved about this show. It has great action and stuff. And then, so this is why I say the fact that it's so confusing knowing that they had a group named the Titans years ago, because Hank, who plays Hawk, he literally tells Robin that, like, oh, so Batman's letting you hang with us now. I thought we was too rough for you and everything. And so that's so confusing, because that shows that there was no Titans at that point in time. And that Dick and Batman, or Robin and Batman didn't used to be brutal when they fight people. So it was kind of like, okay, this totally is confusing in season 2 and 3, because apparently y'all have known each other for a long time, forming the Titans. And not only that, but Batman didn't like the idea of Robin hanging out with people who are very tough and fight really rough in the field. Because the thing about Hawk is that he's the angry one when fighting, and Dove is supposed to be the gentle one. However, this Dove is just as ruthless. She uses her wings to cut and slash people and stuff. And so this series is so violent, man, and gritty and dark. I'm telling you. And so this makes no sense when it comes to season 2 and 3. There's such a huge continuity error. That's why I feel like every season is in its own parallel dimension. Because every season is completely different from the last. And so, like, Dick is now driving to meet up with Hank and Don. So after this, we'll never see him again be a cop. So I don't know what happened to that job. And I don't know why they don't never ask, hey dude, where you at? You know what I'm saying? And so, like, so while he's driving there, he plans on leaving Rachel with Hank and Don, but she doesn't know that yet. So he calls up Alfred, and he needs like money and stuff, like a lot of money, so Rachel can survive on. Now, we don't see Alfred in this. And like, so the reason why, this came out in 2017. No, 2017 or 2018, probably 18. And so at that time, they was making a Alfred TV series and stuff. And so, like, that's probably why we never got to see Alfred, and probably why in the third season he died off screen, because now the Pennyworth show, Alfred Pennyworth, is now on HBO Max. I haven't watched that yet. I'm curious to see what it's about. And so so yeah, Rachel has like absolutely no idea that she's about to be like ditched. Now
and
when we
everything.
see Hawk and Dove, they're still doing the vigilante thing. Hank can't stop. He literally wants to save people. And then we get to see an episode called Hank and Don. We find out why. Don wants to kind of start like settling down and leaving this all behind. They live together. This is the second version of Dove. The original one was a male, his brother. This is now his girlfriend. And so after getting like bruised and battered, we see Hank shooting up in a tub. And it's kind of like, dude, you're doing like drugs and stuff like this. You're supposed to be a hero. But you know, you stop and think about it. A real superhero vigilante would do this. They would have so much padding on their outfit, but no much how much padding, they would still get bruised and battered and arms broken, this and that. So he's using these drugs to alleviate the pain and stuff, something a lot of wrestlers do, which they're not supposed to. And so it's a sad thing to see what real heroes go to, the real grittiness of it all. And so he keeps telling her, you know, one more like mission and I'll quit and this and that. Well, of course, as we know by season 3, that doesn't happen. And so when he does bring Rachel to them, Hank is not happy to see Dick. And Rachel, with her power, she can sense something going on. It turns out that back in the day, when Hank and Dawn were dating, her and Dick had somewhat of an affair. Hank is not pleased by this at all. He hates Dick to death. Now, also what makes no sense is them being in the Titans is that, okay, in the flashback, we saw them hanging out, right? But then in a later flashback and later episode in the season, we find out that Hank started doing the vigilante thing when he was in college. So, if Dick was supposed to be like a teenager or something at that time, then he was a teenager while they was an adult. And that just makes no sense time wise and stuff. I'm telling you, the timeline in Titans is so off, it's like embarrassing. And so because Dick is actually, because they show in episode 3 that the present day 15 years ago is when 15 or 10 years ago is when I think 15, yeah, 15 years ago is when Dick lost his parents. So he was about 10 or 9 at that time. So Dick Grayson in the Titan series in season 1, he should be no more than 25, 26, but he's already a detective. See, nothing makes sense in this show. It's like, it just doesn't and stuff. So anyway, yeah, they had some kind of like affair back in the day, and Hank is not too pleased. He doesn't want Rachel there. He doesn't want Dick there. Hank is so pissed that he gets into a physical altercation with Dick, where Rachel breaks up her demonic powers, which scares the piss out of Hank and everything. So in this episode, you know, Dawn and Rachel, they do a lot of bonding and everything because they're the two females, and Rachel's just so upset and she doesn't understand, and Dawn is trying her best to like console her and stuff. Then there's the nuclear family. They get activated because I think the organization that they work for, I believe they want Rachel because they know about her demonic power. I think they worship her father, Trigon, and stuff. So they activate the nuclear family. The nuclear family is bizarre. The father and mother, think of them as an old 1960s like TV couple with the white picket fence and everything. They're polite, they're sweet, they're kind, they're quirky. Their kids are a little bratty, but the mom straightens them out by like manners. And then so they're like, sorry, mom. And so there's a weird, quirky kind of family. Now the mom, I had no idea who this was because she's like, you know, of course, have aged since the 90s and stuff and gotten taller. She plays Samantha Bird in the Goosebump episode, Careful What You Wish For. She was one of my all-time favorite characters. That's one of my all-time favorite episodes. I could not believe that was her. So when the nuclear family gets activated, we see them shooting up. I guess it's like some type of steroid thing because they are very strong. Very, very strong. But they can still die. That's the thing. We find out in the 3rd episode when Corey kills the father. Like, you can die just by being burnt to life. So even though they're super strong with them steroids, they can still die. So they need to find Dick because they know he has Rachel. So they go back to Detroit where Dick's partner is. And the kids tortured the crap out of her. They beat her to literal death. And so after that, they track down Dick's whereabouts and stuff. So, being the vigilantes that they are, Hank still has one more mission he wants to do with these drug dealer type dudes. And so he's going to take them down. Of course, Don helps, but then Robin's all like, it'll be like old times. So they all gear up and they go, right? Hawk and Dove are shocked to see how much Dick has changed. He literally tells them, I'm a changed person now. And they have no idea what he's talking about. They see how brutal he is and fighting to the point where he stabs the dude in the shillelagh and stuff with a sharp object. It's kind of like how Batman did in the warehouse scene in Batman v Superman. When I say they are shocked, they can't believe it and everything. And cause he literally threw his little, cause he has like this Robin symbol on his chest. That's actually a weapon that he throws, kind of like a batarang. He throws it in a dude's eye, and then he pulls it out. Like, he is so brutal, it's insane. But then again, like I said in the other season, it make no sense because in season 3, we see just how brutal Bruce Wayne is and stuff. So I don't know why they're shocked. And they're so shocked because, Bruce said Hawk and Dove were the violent ones, but then Robin is. So this whole show makes no sense. So Rachel ends up seeing like the paperwork that Dick has for her. Like, he left her a note and she reads it. And it basically talks about how he can't like take care of her. He has his own problems and stuff. And he's going to leave her with Hawk and Dove. She is not happy at all with this because she's really grown attached to like Dick and everything. And like I said before, Hank is not happy about this either. And so she goes to the rooftop all upset and she plays with Don's like doves and everything. And so as they're all on the rooftop, like just in a huge argument with each other, in comes the nuclear family. They are no match for the nuclear family, who are like pumped up on steroids. They get their butts whipped and everything. And Hank's a pretty big, huge dude, and he ends up getting whooped by them. And so, like, what ends this whole conflict is when one of the nuclear family throws Dawn off the roof, and she plummets all the way down from the apartment. And so after that, the two guys are down and they grab Rachel and take her away. And so in the next episode, Origins, it turns out that Starfire was watching the whole time as Dawn went down and they took Raven. And she wants Raven/Rachel because she wants to know the origins of who she is because she still has no memory. And so in that episode, Dawn is still in the hospital. Hank and Dick, they decide to like reconcile and everything. And then we get an origin of, Robin as like an angsty kid, not wanting to live with Bruce Wayne. It's weird because, like I said before, this Dick Grayson was mean and rude since he's been a kid. He's never been his plucky, happy self, like what everybody knows him from the comics and cartoons. And it's weird seeing Dick's origin with Bruce not really being in an episode. Like, he is an episode. He's always from a faraway distance, or you see the back of him and stuff. That's because they didn't cast Old Man Bruce yet. Also, Wayne Manor was completely different in season 1 as opposed to season 2. It just looks completely different and stuff. I have to do a comparison, but I'm pretty sure it's a different mansion and stuff. But yeah, in the episode 3, like Rachel saves, Starfire saves Rachel. She kills the nuclear father and dad. She meets Dick and everything. She's trying to figure out who she is. She's realizing that it's some kind of weird alien language type stuff. And something weird is going on with Rachel. Rachel's powers are coming out more frequently now. And she's at this like nun place. But the nuns, they take her and they strap her down to the basement because they know how evil she is and stuff. And then she escapes. And then she runs and finds Beast Boy and everything. And then that's when in episode 4 we get the Doom Patrol like backdoor pilot episode. But like I said before, all in all, this second episode was really, really, really good. There are some good episodes in season 1. It's just season 1 just isn't good itself. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.